What's going on, guys? Nice guy driver. I think this year is finally the years drivers take back their power. And I hate to admit it, but I think it's because of the relentless strikes. It's not the strikes alone. It's the strikes in certain states that finally showed a path. New York, good example. They won that case where they made Uber and Lyft pay. I'm here in New Jersey, just put in a case. I don't know the details, but the minute I find the details on that, I'll do a video on that one. But I think states are finally fighting back this year. It's a slow process, but I'm starting to see like we might actually take back some control. Maybe not in every state, but state by state, one at a time, drivers are finally standing up against the two big players, Uber and Lyft. And that's equating to a lot of people starting their own companies, a lot of people going legally private. It's unfortunate, but it is causing some people to do it illegally too. I posted videos about that where people are posing as Uber drivers just to scam money. I don't recommend it, but it is happening because these corporations are just so greedy. Like recently, just today, I had a passenger. I was taking Enterprise, and I think I probably only picked this guy up once before. But I started talking about not just Uber and Lyft, because there's a lot of companies out here that don't necessarily treat their clientele and their staff, whether they're independent contractors or work directly for them. Like Amazon, good example. I was telling her all these companies are scamming because they got used to so many customers having this pandemic money, I believe. And I know that's a trigger word for YouTube, but I'm going to use it anyway. And just a lot of people, a lot of companies got used to that money. It wasn't just us that got used to that money. A lot of us got used to that money too, including myself. It made us a little lazy. It made us spend more on things we normally wouldn't spend. A lot of people went out and got expensive cars, got them repossessed. But a corporation got greedy. And I really think, particularly Uber, just got so used to that pandemic money. They were paying out good money during the pandemic because they were like, what they call shaving. Show me the money, they call it shaving, where they were shaving money off every trip. They were actually paying the drivers more, but they were owed more, and the drivers didn't even know it because they felt like they were getting paid more than they are now. So when these companies got used to this kind of money, the greed set in. So every company's trying everything. You're seeing it with Wendy's, talking about doing dynamic pricing. That's not going to be the only company trying to figure a way to scam the customer. And yes, I call it a scam because it is not ethical, in my opinion, to do dynamic pricing, even though it helps. I've seen where dynamic pricing that the former Wendy's talking about, I understand that it's true that it does sometimes go down lower certain times a day. But, excuse me, let's be honest. They're not doing this to mostly be lower. They're doing this because peak hours, I'm talking about Wendy's, particularly lunchtime, they're going to find a way to charge you more for those sandwiches. Yeah, they might throw you a bone every now and then. The fries are a little bit less in the afternoon or late at night, and the nuggets are a little bit cheaper. But guaranteed, they're going to find you a way to upcharge you on these damn sandwiches during lunch hour. It's the same thing with Uber, Lyft. You know, Amazon's been known to treat their drivers and actually independent owner operators like crap. And it's just unfortunate. It really is, because there's enough money out here for everybody. And it's just not, excuse me, it just doesn't make sense for there to be so much greed amongst these corporations. On the plus side, spring is coming. I got to give a little bit of good news, because I feel like if I'm only giving you guys bad news, yeah, it entices you, but you're not going to keep watching if you're only going to hear bad news. So here's the good news. Spring is coming. March is here. We're currently in March. Rides have picked up. And I know some drivers are excited because they're back to making that, let's just say on average, $120 a day, 6 to 8 hours. But what drivers are noticing, they're taking longer to make that same $120. Some of you in the better states where you're required to get paid more, that's a different scenario. I'm talking about the ones they're still getting. I'm in Connecticut. Yeah, you can still make that same $120, but you might have to drive 9 to 10 hours as opposed to the 6 that I only had to drive 6 hours literally just last year to make about $120. There was more surge. Obviously, there's a lot less surge now because they have what? They got us by the balls because there's so many drivers. Even Lyft is recruiting new drivers like crazy. Me and my neighbor had a conversation just yesterday, and we were talking about driver pay and stuff like that. And he was saying it's ridiculous the money that Lyft is paying referrals to recruit drivers. And if you guys have been watching the Rideshare Professor, I think he said he probably is. I think he said he was the #1 recruiter for referrals for Uber and Lyft years ago. And the money was rolling in, of course, and then they just cut it off. So you can't even get excited about recruiting drivers. And but they have money to put out to get us to recruit drivers because the new drivers make more money. And I was trying to explain to my neighbor that, he wants to believe that, we're grandfathered in some type of way to get special treatment. No, we're not. New drivers are actually more valuable. If you're a new driver, I hope you're listening. I don't have a referral link for you because I realize it's unethical for me to recruit new drivers the way that I feel about these companies. So you're not going to get a referral link for that, but you will get a referral link where you can start something and start generating some extra money that is not as scammy as Uber and Lyft. But they love new drivers. The main reason, the right new drivers take everything. They don't know how to cherry pick. They think that $3 for an 8-minute trip is normal. They think it's normal. And they're not going to complain about driver pay because they're brand new. They don't know what the old way used to pay. They don't know that we got a pay cut when we got upfront pricing. They don't know this stuff. That's why new drivers are more valuable than old drivers. It's that simple to the companies. I think it makes sense in the workforce. You have experienced drivers that are going to be more safe and get your children home safe. 9 out of 10, these new drivers, some of them are criminals. Let's keep it real. They're sliding under the radar. It's particularly more so, I would say, on Lyft. I hate to call Lyft out, but I think a lot more shady people slide under the radar on Lyft as opposed to Uber. And they don't screen their passengers at all. So we potentially get passengers that are killers, murderers, and you'll never know. And other people order rides for other people, so it could be somebody responsible order a trip for a criminal. This is what we got to go through as drivers. My solution? Simple. This is the year to come up with new ways to make money outside of just Uber and Lyft. I know some of you guys love driving. I get it. You got to get creative. And we're going to have to start learning how to get licensed by all means necessary. If we got to take another regular job part-time to make enough money to become a courier, medical driver, or even an XL or comfort driver for the meantime while you're working on getting your license for those, we got to figure something else out. If you're with me, hit me in the comments. Even if you don't agree, hit me in the comments. But that's my thinking for this new year. We got to grind and find new ways to make money. Uber and Lyft is no longer doing it. At least not in my state. Eventually, hopefully, enough states will force them to pay drivers better. But let's be honest, they're still going to scam. Uber and Lyft will find a way to scam no matter what. I hate to break it down to you like that. But hopefully I'll have some good news in the future. This has been it for today. I'm going to get back at it. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go have lunch. And then maybe I'll get back at it this afternoon. But thank you guys for your continued support. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Thank you.